Ah, there we go. Phew. I muted my mic and then it wouldn't unmute. So there was a moment of panic, but it's working now. Oh dear. I did message Danielle on Skype and she said she was joining us, but... Right, get my laptop switched on, set up. Yes. What is that? That is that. I did see Daniela's on Discord. She's on Discord now. Just not chat. I'm tempted to text Laura and ask her to message me when she gets home so we know when she's gonna... Alright. I'm not sure it was hit and miss because sometimes they let her leave early and sometimes they don't. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a small village pub. It can't get overly big. I wouldn't have thought. I don't know. Phew, for a moment I thought my laptop was going to decide to do a really helpful update. You know, the kind that would have probably ended up taking up like an hour. And then I'd have been sat there going, guys!
Yes. Is everyone else here? Okay. Where's Ivan? Speak. Speak now. Or forever.
Just getting a drink, so I muted my mic.
Right, now I need to... I just had a mad scramble because I couldn't find Discord.
Oh dear.
For some reason, my browser has gone to going on Ask instead of Google, even though it's Google Chrome. Which I'm not going to argue with right now.
Sam, I got an email from Cyber Discovery telling me that Essentials is finished, which I didn't know, but I kind of gave up. I'm guessing you and Chris both gave up. It got to after, I was like, I'll try and put it off for after exams, and then that left me about 3 days to do it. I was like... Yeah. Right. Right. Are you in the Roll for Gold game on Roll20? Okay, I'm loading it up.
Impressive. Zoom out. Hi. Character thingy. Person.
Hmm?
I don't know. Right, how do I know how many spells I've used, how many spell slots I've used? Well, I have to remember.
I'll do it in tally. How long have we got? Because it's gone half. There are currently 2 people watching. One of those is me, and the other is probably you. So... Possible. My sister will probably start watching when she gets home. She's been at sixth form induction as well. You can do.
Yeah.
Okay, we're
So-
now live. I just need to close this over here. Then I can say this. Hello, everybody who is maybe not watching. Welcome to session 2 of Roll for Gold, which is a charity Dungeons & Dragons live stream in aid of Macmillan Cancer Support. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Sam, and I'm joined currently around the virtual tabletop by Adam and Daniela. And yeah, you may be wondering where the rest of our players are, if you're watching this somewhere. Well, funny story, people have work and people have school. So, yeah, we're just waiting for a couple of people to turn up so we can start properly. There is something that I'd like you two to do, though, very quickly, though, whilst you're here. Could you please go into your settings tab and under, it says enable, let's see, it says enable 3D dice and automatically roll 3D dice. Could you please click those two boxes? Because then it lets you do things like this. /r.
Do I do it like this?
That. There we go. It means that a dice appears. And it's so much more interesting to look at.
Lovely.
Yes. You know what?
That is very nice.
It is. It's very nifty. .tv. No, not snowcreature.tv. We're not that fancy. Dump things everywhere. There you go, there's a link dumped into the two chats that I'm part of. Ooh, 3 viewers. This is
Picking
practically
up.
a party. Let me know if the music's a little bit too loud, by the way, anybody who's watching. Oh, there you go, stop now. Just kind of have this music in the background whilst we're waiting. Yes, I turn the volume up on the things on Roll20 as per the request of Chris, because he said it was too quiet during the battle, so I turned it up.
Sam, do you want to do like a recap or something to?
Yes,
while we
that
wait?
would be wise, wouldn't it? I don't know if this is the Oxcast music from 2011. It might be. It's royalty free. Right. So recap for last week whilst we're waiting, because why not? So last week our current party of adventurers, Yaki, Gabriel, and Shouter, set out on their adventure into the city of in the nation of the Nexus Republic, trying to get into the capital city of Grossheim. On the way there, they travelled along very straight roads for a very long period of time, before finally reaching the city, which was this massive ex-giant castle, just at least a kilometre high, stretching higher than the mountain range behind it. Upon trying to get in, they were turned away at the door because they did not have their papers, because they were not citizens of or registered visitors. However, they were offered a chance to earn entry into the city by going and doing a job for the city. and that job was to kill a giant which had been terrorizing the local area and destroying very expensive property. So the party agreed and set off, heading for the town of Bigglesdorf, which was where the giant had been spotted last. There they picked up a trail of very large footprints and followed it across the fields, past a very destroyed-looking automaton, one of the automated workers of the nation of the Nexus Republic, and into a small copse of trees where they discovered the cave where the giant had set up its home. There, following a little bit of wild magic occurrences, the giant did learn to fly for a very short amount of time, and it did. And whilst it was flying, Gabriel did extract a crystal that was apparently whispering to it in its head from its foot, from when it had trampled the automaton. The party then went on to completely destroy this poor, very childlike creature and decapitate it. Like how the music crescendoed as I said that. Then, yeah, they decapitated it, collected all the loot, which was an astonishing amount of money, and some very strange artifacts, which potentially could be magical. Thank you, music, for stopping. The potentially magical artifacts then headed back to the city of Grossheim, where they met. You told me to turn it up. Turn it up. Backseat streamers. Sorry. Okay then. Sorry. So then they then returned to. Yeah, I'll keep trying. I'll keep adjusting. Then headed back to Grossheim, where they spoke with the guard who'd given them the job, who managed to sort out their papers, and were able to get them into the city. During a short elevator journey up the side of the castle to the main doorway, they were treated to a recorded message by the leader of the Next Republic, Prime Chancellor Gutanka, who welcomed to the city and told them to report any deviant behaviour to the Ministry, who are the government, or the ruling class of the city. Ugh, my voice is going already. This isn't good. Upon reaching the top of the lift of the elevator journey, the party were greeted by a beautiful, eerily beautiful sight of the city. Streets of almost Gothic style buildings stretching out across the floor of this massive castle, and the streets almost flowing vertically up the sides of the walls and the pillars, all lit with goldeny yellowish lights that permeate slightly through the constant yellowish smog that clings to everything, going up the various elevators that you can see, and clings to the stairways and everything that takes you up to the higher levels of the city. Far off in the distance you could also see the ceiling, which is very difficult to see because of all the smog, and another doorway on the far opposite side of the entranceway. And that is actually where we left off. And I'm actually kind of anxious about starting now, because I'm not we could continue, but we're currently let's see, we've only got Adam, who would actually be part of the party. Sure, tell you what, shall we run the opening titles and then see what happens whilst we're not visible. See who turns up.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea? I don't know. Let's just run them. I enjoy watching them and seeing how terrible they are. Let's just run the opening titles. Okay, there you go. That was some. That was the opening titles there. Nothing happened. Hey, by the way, is the music any better now? Is it any louder? Any quieter? Is it the right amount? No, I don't know. Keep on clicking the wrong thing. Excellent. Thank you very much. So I'm not sure how much longer I can delay. So
Nathaniel's ready, if that's helpful.
oh, excellent. That means we then have two members of the party who are actually currently members of the party already. Excellent. So, if Nathaniel's ready, then we can actually get going.
Laura's joining us in 10-15 minutes, so we'll have... the party will be complete.
Excellent. Okay, so we will play with 2 players and a ghost for now. Sorry, Daniela. And then we'll see what happens. So then, let's switch to music. I'm fed up with this music now. So, you now look out across the city. Well, I don't know. Is Nathaniel here? Nathaniel, shout if you're here. Nope. Okay. Well,
Oh dear.
Yaki, the only person I can currently talk to. All 3 of you look out across the city of Grossheim. It absorbing this sight, whether you find it beautiful or eerie or disgusting, I'm not sure. And you just look out across it. There's a small set of steps leading down to the street in front of you, and it seems to be leading towards... the street ahead of you seems to be a sort of... I don't know how to describe it. It's a small shopping street. Shops. You can see what looks like shops windows along the front of it.
Hello. Nathaniel's not ready yet, and what did I miss?
Description of a small set of stairs that leads down to a street of shops just inside the entranceway of the city. I'll see if I can... Please tell me I can do this. Nope, it's one or the other. Can either have music or background noise. Okay, and if it's background noise, I need to turn it up a little bit because it's still quiet. Oof. Tell you what, no, I can go into the music. No, I can't, not from here. This is so professional.
Sure, we'll get better at it as time goes on.
Hopefully, that is the idea. You can see people bustling past on the street below. People, they're not dressed in what you would consider ordinary clothes. You're used to seeing people in tunics and robes and long flowing capes. These are people walking past. All the gentlemen are wearing very long coats, which seem to have fur-lined interiors, and fedoras of varying colours on their heads. And some of them even seem to be wearing what looks like some sort of face mask that occasionally you see puffs of steam come out the side of. Not sure what they use though. The women are also wearing these face masks, but also far more simpler clothes than what you're expecting. Monochromatic dresses that end at the knees, with shawls or long coats over the top, and very large hats and fascinators. Imagine 1920s fashion, just a little bit more extravagant, and a bit more with a bit more warmth in them. You can hear people. You can hear them all talking and chatting as they walk past, and that's it, really. You can just about see into some of the shops. You can see some bakers. You can see what looks like a bookstore, a store that sells some kind of magical supplies. Nothing too fancy. Yaki, seeing as you're the only one here, let's see. You would know that Frederick, the person that you're looking for in this city, can be found working as a bartender at the Edgar Heights Hotel. You're not sure where that is though. What would you like to do?
Okay. I would like to check where Gabriel put the crystal.
Okay. Gabriel put the crystal in his bag, I believe, if I remember rightly.
I would like to subtly suggest to him to keep it there until we find somewhere we can look at it.
He nods in agreement.
It's a bit more hidden. Is there a guard nearby I can ask for directions to the hotel?
You don't see any guards at the moment, but there are, as I said, just ordinary people around. You probably just make out through the about 50 or so, I don't know, 30 or so feet of clear visibility before the smog just kind of envelops everything. You can see a small a figure stood on a soapbox, and you can just hear him shouting something. You're not sure what.
Right. I think we'll start walking in towards the centre of this city and see if we can see anything suggesting where the hotel might be.
Okay. As you head down the steps and descend into the smog, your breathing instantly gets a little bit more difficult and heavy. And you now guess the purpose of the face masks that you saw some people wearing, being some kind of breathing apparatus to help them. As you head down this small shopping street, you start seeing that there is a couple of people gathered around the man on the soapbox, and as you walk past, you see that he is a tiefling. So he has magenta-coloured skin with big ram-like horns that curl out of the top of his head and round past his ears, deep red eyes and slightly pointed teeth. And you can just see coming out the back of his clothing a long tail that occasionally just wafts around slightly. He's wearing long, dirty white robes with a hood. And it has a sort of, I don't know, bib draped over the front of it, which has bib on the front, which is faint, was it dark purple, with what looks like a stylized rose on the front. And as you walk past, you hear him shouting, "They enter our city, they enter our lives, our homes. They hide amongst us, living as humans, but they are monsters. We gave them our food, our money, our jobs, whilst they steal our lovers from our beds, our children from their cribs. What does the ministry do? Nothing. Nothing. But we, the holy sect of the Wilted Rose, will do something. We will hunt the vampires, those demons, those ogres that infest our fair city, and make it safe again. Come, join us, join our fight." And you just hear him slowly trailing off in the back into the distance as the fog swallows him. You continue walking down the street. You do see a small stall selling selling the face masks. You give them a quick look over as you walk past, and you can see some of them are very intricately designed. Some are actually designed for Dragonborn, but largely for human use. You continue walking down the street, and you start looking around you a little bit more. You can see that there are the light sources that light all the streets and permeate through the fog. Are old Victorian style lampposts, but instead of having a little flickering flame in them, you can see floating, just slowly turning around, just through the light of it. You can see crystals glowing bright yellow, just slowly rotating on the spot inside these lampposts. Right. Sorry, just being put off by the chat a little bit. Okay. Do you want to duck into any of the shops as you're walking along, or just... Who's just messaged me? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, do you want to duck into any of the shops as you're going along, or are you okay just continuing to walk and trying to find your way to the hotel?
I think we'll keep trying to find the hotel first.
Okay. As you okay, you continue walking along, trying to find something to find your way to the hotel. Suddenly, you're looking ahead of you, and out of the smog, you hear a faint something metal seeming to hit the cobblestones of the flagstones of the street. And suddenly, looming out of the smog, you can see two orbs of green light moving towards you. As they get closer, they begin to resolve themselves into some very strange-looking forms. They are 7-foot-tall, humanoid-looking figures with creamish white, almost eggshell-coloured skin, ceramic bodywork with a upside-down egg-shaped head in which is set a large green glowing crystal. They have roughly spherical-looking torsos, but then sticking out of of the torso come these large, long blade-like arms and legs, and as they walk, you can hear it. That's the tapping sound you can hear. It's just these, and they have the ministerial emblem on the front, which is the two crossed swords with the sideways crescent moon and the diamond at the bottom. Following behind them, you can see a human male, wearing ministerial uniform, which is this long bottle green jacket with a bottle green pinstripe suit underneath, and a green fedora. You see a little gold pin of the ministerial emblem on his lapel, and then behind him are two more of these automatons. People are giving them a wide berth. They just kind of, not out of, people don't seem to be afraid of them. They just kind of moving out of the way to let this group of 5 walk past. They just, the automaton just look down at you as they walk past. Just carry on going. Eventually you come to a crossroads, and there you can see, stood in the corner, is a gentleman that's holding a sign saying city info. It's not a professional looking sign. It looks like something he got hold of some black paint and just kind of wrote something out on a bit of old wood he found. But he is advertising info for the city. What would you like to do?
We'll go over to him and ask if he knows the way to the hotel.
You see, he's got straggly grey hair and a big liver spotted bald spot, and just a single monocle in his eye, but a very ornate face mask on, and slightly ragged looking brown pinstripe suit. He says, "Ah, yes, I can tell you the way to the Edgar Heights Hotel. Just follow along here, along this road." And he just kind of gives you directions. The Edgar Heights Hotel is along the eastern wall of this main chamber. Yeah, he recommends it to you, and tells
Hello.
you. Hello. We have a Laura.
Sorry.
It's fine, don't worry. So we've now actually entered. So to catch you up, Laura, we have now entered into Grossheim. We've now entered into Grossheim, and the group is making their way to the Edgar Heights Hotel. Ooh, echo. Edgar Heights Hotel, which is where Frederick can be found, who is the contact that Yaki was told about. I need to have a drink.
Cool.
Okay.
See, I'm also now here.
We have everybody.
Hello.
Yay! Okay, so walking through the smog, you carry on towards the Edgar Heights Hotel. It's getting harder and harder for you to breathe in the smog. It's just making you cough every now and again as you walk forwards. Eventually, you manage to find your way to the Edgar Heights Hotel. It is a large, Gothic style building with large arched windows. All of them slightly fogged over. You think that's part of the design of it. It's got large, fancy-looking letters over the top. This is Edgar Heights Hotel, and a image of a raven over the top of the doorway. Going inside, you see a very nice. You see a very nice lobby with a desk set into the back wall, and you see a raven perched on a small perch on the desk. Currently, there's nobody at the desk, but and there's a little sign you can see. You can't quite read what it says for the moment. To the left, you can see a spiral staircase going up to the higher floors, but to the right, you can see a large, low archway, through which you can see what looks like a very dimly lit but very comfortable looking lounge. that then, and from that way, you can also hear a very strange kind of music, which you probably in this world never heard before. It's quite melodic and well, in this world you recognise it as jazz, but in that world, you probably haven't come across it. What would you like to do? Hello?
No one's saying anything.
No, nobody's ever saying anything. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna enjoy the jazz.
Wait,
You can see. You can see a bar through the low archway as well in the lounge.
I want to go to the bar.
I'll go through the low archway and
I'm gonna go to the bar.
be a bit nosy till someone's there.
Okay. Going in, you can see a lot of low tables and comfy armchairs. There's a lot of people just sat around drinking, chatting, and eating. You sit at the bar, and there is a bartender who I'm going to hand over to Daniela to describe. Who do they see serving drinks?
Right. So I describe myself.
Yep. What do you look like?
I am a old male dwarf with shocks of blue hair, quite elderly-ish looking clothing. I'm even quite short for a dwarf as well.
How low down is the bar?
It's built for a human, but there seems to be a small sort of walkway for this bartender to walk along. Frederick, a group of very strange-looking adventurers walk through the doorway, dressed in foreign clothes. You see a purple-skinned half-orc with a large battle axe across her back. You see a golden-robed, apparently human person who just walks in, and walks in as well, and with them a golden dragonborn with some kind of metallic something halted at his side.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
Find a veil, please.
Here on the material plane. I haven't been here for long. On the
Mainly
celestial plane.
alcohol.
Good.
Just good old alcohol.
One
Pick whatever you
I'll
like.
have
alcohol,
those,
please.
You have an alcohol.
Yes, please.
Oh, how strong a stomach do you have?
I'm not aware that I've experienced this alcohol before.
I'll tell you what, I will give you some of our finest ale here. There you go.
To give, is that for free?
It is not.
It would be about, if you look
About
for price, it'd be about silver, possibly even less than that. Depends on how nice a drink you're giving them.
It's a very nice one. We serve only the best here.
Okay, so it's about a silver then.
That. 1 silver, please.
Okay. As you serve the drinks, Frederick, you'd recognise your boss walks past you out of the kitchen behind you. You see a ginger-haired, very sturdily built female human, about medium height, who's dressed in. She has a very round, freckled pale but very friendly face. And she's smiling warmly, even though she doesn't seem to be. That seems to be her default facial expression. She has ginger curly hair, kind of. As she's walking out, she's kind of brushing it out of her face. She's wearing a white blouse, black trousers with braces. And as she walks out from behind the bar, you can see she's wearing black riding boots. She's then also got kind of a half dress that's tied at her hips that flows behind her. And as you watch, it seems to transition from her striding purposefully out of the kitchen to her just gliding amongst the tables and doing everything. As she comes out of the kitchen, as she walks out from behind the bar, she looks over and says, "Oh, Freddie, you're actually serving some customers. That's pretty good."
Does Freddie
Yes.
not normally serve customers?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you mean? I always have
You
plenty of
do
customers.
always serve the customers, but it's been a bit of a quiet day today, hasn't it? Hello. She turns to Jackie, Shouter, and Gabriel. Says, "Hello, I'm Charlie Tamsworth. I own this hotel, in fact. I hope Freddie here looks after you very well. Are you friends of Freddie?"
No, we need to met him.
Oh, they're just customers here for the moment, but I wouldn't mind the acquaintances of you.
I'd quite like to be friends with him as long as.
Oh, very well. Well, I have to I have to go and help with some of the customers. They're well, yes, they're not rowdy exactly. We don't have any bar fights. Haven't had any bar fights since I opened this place. She's just smiling all the time while she's saying this. Well, I just got to go now. I've got to go and I've got to go and run this hotel. I'll speak to you later. It just kind of glides away. Okay. What would you like to do? I just... Okay. We've gone quiet. So then.
Sorry, we disconnected for a second
Okay, sorry, that's fine.
there.
Hello again.
Yep, hello, you reconnected, that's good. I just need to very quickly do something. Let me see, just quickly, very, very quickly, want to do... There you are. There we are, that's better. So I just need to do that quickly. Frederick, so... Well, I suppose, have you introduced yourselves, everybody, to each other?
Well, I'm Frederick. Don't know about the rest of you.
I'm Gabriel.
Hello, Gabriel.
I'm Shouter.
Suppose it's nice to meet you too. And I'm here with my friend Shouter and Jackie.
Have we lost Adam?
I don't know where Adam's gone.
I don't know where he's
I'm
gone
not
either.
sure. But it's Laura as well.
Everybody. Whoa! And
Um,
then a spot opened up and swallowed all of them.
no, I'm here. I introduce myself and I say we've come looking for a Frederick who sent word he knew of some papers in my possession.
Ah, yes, absolutely.
Is that you?
I am Frederick.
So, Jackie, remind me what these papers were again?
Drawings, sketches, and little bits of text pertaining to some kind of machine or object that I can't translate or discern their meaning. Is there somewhere we can go, Frederick, so we can talk?
Yes, absolutely. Come out the back with me. Okay. More privacy. I'll leave.
More
my-
privacy from this almost empty.
No,
Right.
it's a very busy. It's actually quite busy in this lounge. There's all the tables are occupied. Just people
why are
meet.
you not serving?
I'm serving people.
Maybe there's a gap in the serving.
Okay, yeah. Let's go out the back.
Okay, so where are you going? Are you going to a small meeting room
Yeah.
or the employees' lounge?
I'll lead them. Yeah, I'll lead them through a couple of corridors into the lounge.
Okay.
Everyone's very busy, so there shouldn't be anyone in there right now.
Okay. So you go through these corridors, and you find your way into the employees' lounge. It's a very small room with two two very comfortable-looking leather armchairs. Not sure what leather it is. Could be butt leather. You're not sure. Probably not though. It's a very blandly painted room. There's a small kitchenette area that you could use to prepare some small food. But other than that, there's a low coffee table as well.
So, what do we need to do then? With these?
Right. Well, first of all, show me these papers.
Pardon, sorry?
What?
Didn't quite hear that last one.
Right. Show me the papers.
I get them out of a small pouch and I lay them on the coffee table.
You. Right. Yes. I know just the guy for this, but I've forgotten his name. Dungeon Master. Help.
No.
You
do
know
know
a
a guy.
person.
You don't know.
I do.
You do know. You kind of turn to the heavens and go, "Help me!"
Yes.
You do know a guy, but you do not know his name. But you know he hangs out in the lounge every day. He was actually there, at one of the tables. He speaks to all kinds of people, and you'd know he claims how to get a hold of almost everything, even information. He's
I relay this.
Okay. Well, what are you waiting for? Go get him.
Well, it might be possible in the bar. The lounge.
you're cutting out quite a bit.
Fix it.
Says it's connected well.
I think it might just be that Daniel's a little bit further away from the microphone.
I would move closer, but my laptop's plugged in.
Okay,
Don't mind. Right.
sorry. So you're gonna
Okay.
go and get him. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Frederick leaves for a second and comes back, and you come back and you go and find the guy that who could help. You come back with a man wearing a very nice white tuxedo with a small bow tie, thin pencil moustache. One of his eyes is yellow. It's slightly disconcerting. The other one is a very dark brown. He smiles, smiles a very wide grin with very crooked teeth. He says, "Ah, you must be your friends of Frederick's. How may I be of service?"
Are the papers still on the table?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Did you collect them up?
I'll if they're still there. I'll pick them up and I'll say we have these, but we cannot discern their meaning, and we were told you may be able to help.
As he walked in, you did spot that his eyes just kind of flickered over the table, quickly examining all of the papers, and he takes them from you. You take a look and starts flicking through them and says, I don't know. I'm assuming, what language is this written in? Well, whatever it is, I don't know.
We do not know.
Okay, but okay, I do not know. But the good news is, I do know somebody who does. I have a contact who I can meet with in very short notice. It will cost you, and I can't do it straight away. But yes.
I may be able to read it if it's in a language. It didn't look like it was a comprehensible language, though. If I just use my simple spell comprehend languages, would that work, do you think?
It might do. It would save you some money, but if you want to give it a go, it kind of holds it out for you.
I'll try it. I'm going to bellow out the incantation for comprehend languages.
The coffee table rattles and the things and the sofa shakes slightly. You can hear the rattling of cups and plates in the various cupboards shaking and rattling as well. You cast comprehend languages. Please, could you roll me a d20?
Okay.
This is where I went wrong last time.
This is gonna be fun. Please very much.
Did you fix it, sir?
No, I didn't. Oh, this is amazing. Oh. Also, quickly, could you just dive into the settings and enable 3D dice and enable automatic 3D dice rolling, please? Just in your
Laura will
settings.
need to do the same.
Yeah, both you and Laura need to do that. That's the page.
Do I need to?
I think you've done it already.
You already did. That's the snazzy dice thing.
Wait, so enable 3D dice and automatically roll 3D dice.
Yep.
Cool.
Alright, I then need you, please, Gabriel, to please roll a 1d100.
Oh, don't make someone fly. Not again.
It could be much worse.
Oh, black
It's
dice.
actually pretty cool.
56. How attached are you to your
I don't
hair?
have.
Pardon, sorry?
I don't have the book on me.
How attached are you to your hair?
How attached am I?
Yeah,
Well, it's
emotionally.
implanted in my head. And I love my hair. It's one of the beautiful parts about me.
Well, okay, 55 to 56. Your hair falls out, but grows back within 24 hours. So as you shout, there's a swirl of magical energy as the wild magic that courses through your veins swirls around you, and you watch as the hair on your head just kind of separates from your head and just falls to the ground and just slowly dissipates into dust and magical sparks.
Oh no.
The guy in the white tuxedo says, "Well, that was something."
this writing obviously does not want to be read.
Oh, no, you can't comprehend languages, but
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's just something to do with my my erratic sorcerer magic.
that's great. uh,
Um,
Let me just check. Comprehend languages. What does this do? I know we looked at it last week, but
so I can read or hear any language. I can put it in the chat. Yeah.
okay. So you can't comprehend languages, and you can now read it in some form. It now translates everything on the paper into on the pages into common. So in basic English. You understand snippets of it. Make an intelligence check.
Okay.
First roll of the game. Well, not first roll of the game. First ability check of the game. Just a straight intelligence roll, please. That is a 17. Okay. You flick through the first few pages, and what seems to be written here is the specifications for some kind of device. Just all the mechanisms and things. Pardon me. Mechanisms and things that go into it. But then after a few pages, there's a small note that says down the bottom that says, "People are getting suspicious. I need to come up with a code." And then all the pages after that, although you can now read it as if it's common, it's garbled nonsense. Some of the words don't even make sense. Some of them are just random jumbles of letters. It's been put in. The rest of it is in some kind of code.
Oh. Okay. Well, I can read the first few pages, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm going to tell you.
Talking about harness. The first few pages seem to be talking about harnessing some kind of magical energy. Not sure what, but yeah.
I will relay that to my friends. Because obviously they can't read it. And then I'm going to say that.
Is there any way we can try and decipher the code?
Man in the
Well,
white. Sorry, Cam.
there may be, but we only have an hour while I can still read it.
Is that long enough to copy it all into
Yes.
common?
I very much doubt it.
The man in the white tuxedo says, "Well, if you can, I don't know. I know a guy who's very, very good with secret codes," and he just kind of smiles really slimily. He just kind of raises an eyebrow.
Don't trust him.
I know a guy who can decode anything, just about anything. I can get you in contact with him if you like. Again, it will cost you, but you'll be able to disentangle this messy predicament. What do you say?
Will he need it translating, or will he be able to do it himself?
I'm sure he can translate it himself, but it would make his job 2 times as fast if you would just if you were able to translate it for him.
Well, it might cost less if we translate it for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're going to have to spend the next hour copying.
Okay. Well,
This-
how about this then? I will go and arrange a meeting with with my contact, and you can translate this, and then we'll meet back here this evening. Meet me in. Can't meet inside the lounge, of course. That'd be far too obvious a place to meet. There's a small alleyway beside the hotel. If you meet me in there, around there, then we can go and visit my friend. I just need to go and organise an actual meeting with him first, though. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Well, I bid you adieu. And he bows neatly and turns and turns and leaves. He says, you'll be needing this. And he takes a rose out. It's not a rose. It's a carnation out of his lapel and hands it to you. Says, "This is a mark to show that I trust you. Bring this with you when we meet, and well, I'll know that I can trust you and you're not an imposter." He smiles really slimily again. He just holds it out. Somebody gonna take this?
Yeah. Okay, I'll take it.
Okay, so you have a red carnation now. Just
Okay.
he bows again, nods at each of you, and then just turns and leaves.
Okay, goodbye.
Farewell.
Well, we better get down to translating this thing then.
Can we use this room, Frederick, to...
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there might be people coming and going, but I'm sure in this corner of the room, no one will intrude.
So, yeah, you sit down. You spend the remaining 55 minutes of your comprehend languages spell. No, is it an hour or is it 10 minutes?
It's an hour.
Oh, okay. Okay, well that's a mistake from that's a mistake I made last time then. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Sorry, you could have understood what the giant was shouting at you whilst you were beating it to a pulp. I'm sorry. So, you spend the next 55 minutes copying out... you go and find some paper. You spend the next 55 minutes copying out carefully, in common, everything that's on these notes. Do you copy out any of the diagrams and images, or do you just copy out the text?
Well, any labels or anything, yeah, but the diagrams aren't. Well, yeah, I can show him the diagrams. They don't need to be copied. Unless they've got annotations around them, in which case I'd copy
Some
out
of them
the
have annotations, but most of them are just images, and then there are paragraphs of text around them that talk about what's being shown.
I'll mark which page they link to.
Okay, so at the end of the hour, you have a set of translated notes, not decoded, so coded translated notes. If you want to bung them in your if somebody wants to bung that in their inventory.
Okay. I will again bung it in my inventory and yeah.
Well, as you're just kind of putting the notes together and sorting everything out, Charlie comes into the room, and she says, "Oh, you're in here, Freddy. I've put Dennis on the bar for now. I just have to go. He's covering you and he's covering me. I have to go out for a bit now. Is everything okay? Can I leave you to cover the bar, or do I need to get somebody else to come in and help? Because I need to go and do something."
Well, I'll find someone. I'll find someone to finish up helping. I'm just doing something with my acquaintances here, but
Okay.
I'll sort it out for you. Don't worry.
Is there anything interesting you're doing back here? Anything
Oh
interesting?
no, just boring old stuff.
Sorry.
Translating something.
Yeah.
Okay, she glances over you. She just goes. Her smile doesn't even falter for a second. She's like, "Oh, okay, don't worry then. Just yes. Well, if you need to book a room, go to the main desk and Freddy can sort you out. I'm sure. If not, if you want drinks, Dennis is on the bar. We stopped serving food for now. We're not going to be serving food again until the evening, so I'd recommend going out and about and doing some shopping if you want to wait for food. I'm going to have to hop off now. She just reaches over and grabs a long coat and face mask from and breathing apparatus mask from a peg on the wall. I will be seeing you later. I shouldn't be too long.
Brilliant.
Okay. You going anywhere interesting?
Oh no, nowhere. Very interesting. Don't worry, dear.
Okay.
If you want to, you can make an insight check.
Of course.
Sure.
Shouter. She's hard to read. Same thing as Gabriel. Her smile doesn't even falter. She's just a little bit. She's quite hard to read. She's a bartender. She's good at keeping. She's a bartender and a business owner. She's good at keeping secrets.
Oh dear.
Or she's just good at keeping her or she's just telling the truth. She doesn't seem to be hiding anything. She kind of slings her coat around her shoulders and fastens the mask into place, and then leaves, waving to you as she leaves. You've got about 3 hours until you reckon it'll be deemed evening. So when the man in the white shirt in the white tuxedo would return. So, is there anything you would like to do in this time?
I'd quite like to go back and look at where they were selling the masks and see if we can get some so that we can go through the city without having to worry about the smog.
Okay. Okay, so you head back through the city and go and find this place. I'm just going to switch the music. You head back through the city, through the smog and through the eerily lit streets, back to the stall of masks that you know. Got a couple of customers there, and the proprietor is a man in a dark red suit with it looks like a daisy in his lapel. It's slightly strange. He's got instead of a fedora on his hat, instead of like everybody else does, he has a bowler hat on his head. He's wearing his own apparatus, and it seems to have some sort of. You can hear him clearer than you can hear other people. It seems that he's adapted his so you can hear him more easily. You can hear him say, "We have the finest of all, we have all the finest facial breathing apparatus here, magical, non-magical, all both the affordable and the not so affordable. Oh, I see 3 new fine visitors to our city behind everybody. How may I help you?" Just kind of calls over to you.
We are looking to purchase some 3 masks. Is Frederick with us, or is he stayed?
I've come with you. I seem to have. This place is mine. I must be down somewhere, so I might look at getting a bit of an upgrade on my old one.
Okay, well we can do. Well, I'm sure we can sort something out. He gestures to his stall. You can see here that I have some for Dragonborn. I have a lot here for humanoids, such for humans and for dwarves. There's some simplistic designs. He gestures to some what looks like sort of almost leather ones with some grates on the sides that seem to be able to be buckled around the back of the head. these ones use some kind of, I don't know the science of it, but they use some kind of chemical filter to filter out the air. Now these ones, and he just has some next to them which have crystals embedded all around, some crystals embedded around the inside. These ones use magic to filter the air. These ones have patterns on. This one's a nice red color. These ones over here for Dragonborns, if you want to have a look. But all of them started at a price of around 1 gold piece each. Can I interest you in anything?
I would quite like a magical one, if I may.
Okay. Any particular design? Would you like this one? You can see one that's got kind of these sort of Celtic swirls and Triskelions on it. Or perhaps this one, and he holds up a more bland one.
Well, what's the price difference on them?
One of them is he holds up the patterned one and says this one would be about 1 gold and 2 silver pieces. The other one would be just a gold, if you can spare the change.
Well, sure, I'll go for the nice patterned one for 1 gold, 2 silver.
An excellent choice, sir. And he hands it to you. May it ensure your easy breathing. And what would anybody else like? Would you like a fine patterned one, or would you like perhaps a more simplistic one?
I'd like.
Is there a
I've never seen. Yes. Sorry, you first. How rude of me.
Is there a scaled one for Dragonborns?
Yes, there is. Let me see your gold. Not quite your shade of gold, but we do have one. He pulls out from underneath the stall a very fine. It doesn't look like real scales, or like some it's faux scales. But it's a slightly darker shade of gold. But he holds it out to you and says, this one, because it's specially made for Dragonborn such as yourself, and we don't get many of those here up in the north, this will run you about 2 gold pieces.
Done.
Okay.
Deal.
Excellent. He hands you it. Fine choice, sir. He turns to you, shouting, just steps back, is taken aback for a second, and just recovers himself instantly. Just like, yes. And for the half-orc lady?
I'll just have a simple one, please. A 1 gold piece one.
Okay, he just kind of gingerly hands you a very simplistic looking one and takes the gold piece. Says, a good choice. And for the dwarf, how?
Right. I would like a nice sturdy one that fits just right. But I don't need any special patterns or designs or anything. The magic ones look nice though.
Okay. He taps his nose and says, I know exactly what you're looking for. And he just kind of pulls out one. It doesn't have any straps on it, and it seems to just it doesn't seem to have any solid shape. And he just kind of says, this one, if you put it on your face, it will mold to the shape of your face and stay there automatically. It also doesn't use the chemical filtration system, it uses the magical one. This one will run you about 2 gold and 5 silver pieces.
You know what? Why not? I'll splash out today.
Fine choice, sir. Fine choice. And hands it to you and takes the money. Well, I recommend. I hope that these will serve you well in this most beautifully besmoked city. Recommend me to your friends. And farewell. He kind of turns back to another couple of customers. Sir, I see. Just kind of continues talking. You now have face masks. You no longer cough and splutter when you're walking through the city.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You still got.
How much longer have we got till evening?
You still got about 2 hours. If you're looking for things to do, you do have some magical items that you could investigate and get. Investigate? You can investigate these things.
No, down. Oh wait, yeah, I have a small silver statuette.
Yeah, you. Let's see. I can tell you what you found. You did, well. Let's see. So you had three heat potions of healing, which you all drank. Shouter, you found a silver statuette of a raven, and an ornate hand fan. And Gabriel, you found a folded square of black material, a carved ebony smoking pipe with dragons carved into it. You also have the glowing blue crystal, which whispers when you hold it.
How big is this black material thing?
Folded up, it would fit in the palm of your hand.
What if it's unfolded?
Do you unfold it?
Yes.
In the middle of the street?
I suggest we retreat. Frederick,
I just want to be clear. I just want to check something. I need to access my floor library. Ugh.
Do I know anything about this black thing?
No, and I don't think you said you unfolded it before, so you just know it's pitch black in colour.
Frederick, how much will it cost for a room for the night at your hotel?
Oh, let me think. I look up to the sky again and
Oh,
ponder for a bit.
It would cost you. Let's see.
Maybe a discount.
It would cost a base cost would be 5 silver a night because it's a middle class, but upper middle class establishment. So it's pretty okay, pretty nice.
It'll
Is
cost
that
you about
each, or-
5 silver.
Each, yes. Per room, it's 5 silver pieces as a base.
Shall we return and rent out a room so that we can investigate these items private?
Okay, there's
That sounds
nowhere
like
else
a
any if you
brilliant
want to go.
Is there any? Can I see any like store where they might set like a alchemist or a potion?
Make an investigation check. It takes you a couple of minutes.
That's a no.
It takes you a couple of minutes, but you do manage to find, further into the city, you find an apothecary, which would sell different acids and herbs and things.
I don't know about the others. I'm going to go in and inquire as to purchasing some empty glass vials.
Okay. You do so. You purchase some very simple small glass vials. Cost you about a copper each. So I'd say, how many are you looking at buying?
I'll buy 10.
Okay, so you buy it. So that's 10 copper pieces. So a silver piece if you want to.
Okay, silver piece.
Okay. So. Right, so
I think I'll head back to the.
you're heading back to the hotel. Okay. You rent a room. I'm assuming, and then yes. So what do you do back at the hotel?
Well, I'd like to investigate this extra pitch black cloth.
Okay.
I'd like to have a look at that too.
Okay. So
Once come into a customer's room.
I'm just very interested.
okay. So you unfold it.
Yep.
On the floor of your room. It's a very nice room. I'd say you've got room to do this. So you begin to unfold it. And unfold it, and unfold it, until it fills until it eventually unfolds into a circular sheet of cloth, pitch black cloth, 6 feet in diameter. There's a moment where you just step back slightly and look at this, wondering what the hell it is, and then your perspective seems to shift. All the very slight shading on the cloth vanishes, and there is a hole. 6 foot deep, 10 foot deep hole appears in the floor.
Like a pit.
A pit.
kind of thing.
Yes.
There's nothing in this pit, just an empty
No,
pit.
it's just an empty pit. I will put it. I'll put into your journal what this is. See, this is for
Does anyone have a rope?
Gabriel.
Can we lower someone down into the pit?
Do I? I don't know.
Okay.
I think
I've now put
Some-
it into your inventory, into your journal.
I would like to just inspect where the kind of join between the floor and the edge of this pit to see if the cloth is still can be retrieved.
Okay.
Or if
So
we've just made a hole in the floor.
So you run your fingers along the edge of the cloth, and yeah, you can pick it up. It's really weird. It's like you pick up the cloth, and you can put your hands underneath the cloth, but then on the other side, it's just empty space. You put your hand through one side of the cloth, and it doesn't appear on the other. It doesn't make any impact.
Has anyone got any rope?
I think you all have
I
50
think
feet of rope.
I think, yeah. I walk out. Is there something solid I can tie it to?
There's a
the
bed.
bed?
There are a couple of beds and a chest of drawers.
I'll tie it to whichever thing looks heaviest.
Okay. You tie it to the bedpost. I'm assuming you climb into the hole.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah. I'll lower him down.
Okay, you drop down 10 feet into the hole, and yeah, it's about 6 feet wide, so you can fit in quite comfortably, and then it rises about 2 feet above your head, 2 or 3 feet above your head. I can't remember how tall you are.
What if I now fold it up?
Nearly 7 foot, I think.
Yeah, so it's about 3
Are
feet.
you going to try and
taller
fold it up with me inside?
Okay.
No, I'm not. No.
You-
I'm gonna tell you to get out, and then we'll put something inside and
I
hold it up with
place-
something.
I take out one of the glass vials that I just bought. I put it right in the centre, and then I ask Gabriel to pull me back up.
Okay. I'm gonna pull him back up, and then hold up the sheet with this glass right in the middle.
So you fold it back up, and it returns down to this palm-sized, folded piece of black material.
Now I'm gonna shake it.
Okay.
And
If you
unfold
break
it.
that glass
Yeah.
vial,
It cost you 1 copper piece. That's 1 copper piece you'll never get back.
Can I use my insight to just see if I know exactly what it is?
That would be an Arcana check.
Ah.
I'm now going to unfold it again and see if this glass vial is still in it, and
Okay.
if so, is it broken?
So you unfold it, and you look inside, and down at the bottom is a perfectly intact, unmoved glass vial.
I hop in and
Frederick,
get it
you're
back.
you're not sure what this is. You think if you were to go and see a wizard or a magical vendor, they might be able to identify what this is. But this is this seems like a very interesting and potentially useful magical item.
Yeah, it does.
That you should never put inside a extra dimensional space.
No.
Okay. So
Okay.
I've gone in and got my glass vial back.
Okay. I think. No, we're not going. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, so at this point, let's say you've got another just over an hour, I'd say, before you should think about going and meeting the man in the white tuxedo.
I ask Gabriel for the crystal we got. I'd like to have a listen to the whispers.
Okay.
Okay, but they don't mean anything. Like, I'm gonna.
Yes, but if this item is magical, it may be dragonic that it's whispering in, and I may understand it. possibly.
Wait, are you magical?
No, but I speak Dragonic, so it's
Okay.
worth a shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna lend.
So you
Um,
hand it over.
yeah.
So you got this fist-sized, jagged crystal that's glowing blue, just wisps of magic, just kind of peeling off it. So little glimmering, almost dust motes of magical energy, just kind of sparkle and fade as it comes off the strands. As you Gabriel, as you take it out, you hear the whispers in your head, and as you hand it over to Yaki, you stop hearing it, and Yaki, you start hearing the whispers. Make a perception check. Perception check.
Why are my rolls so bad?
Think of it this way: if you're having terrible rolls now, then you'll have better rolls later.
Hopefully.
not.
It's a good job I'm good at perception, otherwise that'd have been... Do I hear anything?
You hear just faint whispers, just.
Right.
It doesn't sound draconic.
Okay.
If you were to pinpoint it, it would sound closest to common, but it's still just some of the verbs some of the phonetic sounds sound common, but you're not sure if that's what it is.
Can I try letting him do it?
Okay.
I pass it to Shelter, and then
I
I ask
now have
Gabriel
it.
if he has a spell that might be able to make the voice. Oh no, did he try that?
I've tried it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think he
Yeah.
tried making the voices louder.
Shout it if you're going to have a go at listening to the crystal. Roll a perception check. That is a solid 9. Okay.
Mhm.
Again, you just hear
Great.
whispers.
Do you think this thing is... Well, not sentient. I think it has sentient things in it.
Frederick, you weren't here last week.
I was not.
Make me a intelligence check to see if you know what this is. It's too difficult.
Oh,
Well
Plus
then.
one, -1. Have you got a +1, -1?
Wait, what?
Sorry, it says intelligence -1, +1. Oh, right, it'll be
Yeah.
something or other.
Yes, it would be something.
Okay. You think I don't know. This is weird. This is a weird thing. You're not sure what this is. These people are just rocked up in your life. You offered them help, and they just come in and started unfolding magical pits in the ground and holding out crystals that whisper. You think these might be some weird people. Okay, 3 of you from last week, you'd remember that this was embedded in the giant's foot after it had trampled on an automaton, so that, just bear this in mind.
are we meant to have this, or should we have given it back? Because I
No,
have a
we
feeling
should
the
have
guard.
sold it.
I'm pretty sure the guard said we should return any ministerial property. So
We should sell it.
we
They
should.
have absolutely no idea that we got it from one of the.
I mean, how common? Do we know if these crystals occur naturally on in this land, or are they quite rare?
What was it? Make a history check. Oh boy, we're doing the role-playing roles here. Make a history check, yeah.
I'm gonna do the same.
Anybody who wants to see if they know anything about these crystals, make a history check.
11.
Sure. I'd say, yeah. Actually, Frederick, how long have you been living in the Nexus Republic?
Oh, like a couple of Decades?
Couple of decades. Okay, I'm sure you would have come across them at some point. Yaki. You're not sure, but you think they occur naturally. Frederick, you know that these crystals occur naturally. They are the crystals that power the lights throughout the city.
Those crystals. Why didn't I remember
They
that
are
before?
crystals. They're the crystals that they're similar to the crystals inside your breathing mask, but this one's slightly different. You know that these crystals are mined from underneath the Nexus Republic and are used to power various magical artifacts and devices throughout the city, including the automaton, the automatos. So, yeah.
Okay.
I think we should hang on to it and see. Could you, Gabriel, do you have some kind of detect magic to see if it is a magical presence and if you can see what
I
that
don't
is?
have that. No, I'm not able to detect magic.
I can't, I'm afraid.
I'd say all of you would know that perhaps the best way to find out more about potentially magic items and to identify magical items is to find a local wizard or some kind of person or scholar who is versed in magic.
Okay.
I think
Because I'm
hang on
born with magic. I don't know magic. It occurs randomly.
How long have we got till we need to meet
I'd
up with
say-
the?
After all this investigating and stuff, you've got about half an hour.
Wait, so Frederick, do you know how much they'd be worth, these crystals?
Oh, I don't know really. Well, I've never seen any being sold, as far as I know. They're just there. Just use them.
Also, are we allowed to smoke?
No. There's a designated smoking area over there. If you want to go and smoke.
Okay.
If you catch fire, then that's not your fault and you won't hold it against. If you're deliberately smoking, that's a different.
It's just, I've got this friend who's blowing, smoking pipe with some nice dragon things on it.
Okay. Are you going to go and smoke the pipe?
Yeah, I think so. After taking the crystal back, of course.
So you light up the pipe and you start smoking. What do you think about whilst you're smoking the pipe?
About what we're gonna do here. What's gonna happen next? What will happen next on our adventure? And whether I trust Frederick or not.
Okay.
So far,
Okay, so as you're thinking about these things, as you exhale smoke from this pipe, you watch as forming from the smoke are small figures that kind of resemble Frederick, and they kind of dissipate, and then maybe your mind drifts back to the flab giant yesterday, and it kind of forms momentarily. The smoke that you exhale forms momentarily into an image of the flab giant, which then just in its fat and grotesque self, which then just kind of drifts and fades out.
that's cool.
I will put that into your thing. No, not Frederick. Gabriel. There we are. There we are.
I might try and think of things in the future.
Son, sorry.
I think of what we're doing in the future. if I can see if it will
Doesn't.
tell me about the future.
Okay, as you picture things that might happen in the future, vague semblances of the figures that you're imagining appear, but it doesn't seem to be giving any sort of premonitory abilities.
Okay.
Right. So around about now that you should start thinking about heading into the alleyway.
Okay. Should we head down then?
Yes.
Okay, so you head down and out the front of the building, out the front of the hotel, and round to the alleyway that the man in the white tuxedo described. Who's walking? Who's in the front? Who's walking at the front?
Well, I suppose it could be me, seeing as I've got the carnation thing that he gave us. Was it carnation, right?
Carnation. Yep.
The flower.
Okay. As you're walking along, for a second you feel a strong breeze just go straight past you, almost through you. It buffets your hair. Well, it doesn't buffet your hair around because you don't currently have any hair. But your cloak just kind of flaps around you. Your the hood of your cloak comes down. And for a second, for the first time since you've been here, you look forward and you can see that where the wind has come from, the smog has cleared. And there, on the floor, sticking out from the alleyway, you can see a hand on the floor, palm up.
Nope. Nope.
And we're going to take a break there.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh dear.
Oh, and I'll say this. The hand is attached to an arm, which is in a
Oh.
white sleeve.
Is the arm attached to anything?
You don't know.
Oh no.
And we're going to take a break there. So, anybody who's watching, because we currently have, it says here currently we have 6 viewers. Thank you very much, everybody who's stuck with us. We will be back in 15 to 20 minutes. We need to go and get drinks and things, and yeah.
Get drunk. No, we're not gonna.
Not get drunk, that'd be bad. But yeah.
It'll be more interesting.
I think that's another podcast, another stream. I think it's the Dungeons and Drunkards or something. I can't remember. The Drunkards and Dragons or something.
Yes, we need to do that.
No, we don't.
Next time.
Okay, well, we will be back soon. Bye. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
The disembodied arm.
You were just, there's a hand, palm up, and we all went, well, is it a severed hand?
Yeah.
Because that's concerning.
If
Was
you
anyone
It's a disembodied arm.
I'm just going to share with you weren't here when we walked into the city. There was a tiefling talking about vampires invading the city or something, infiltrating the city and being...
Okay.
Damn. They're racist against vampires, guys. Alright. We're over on the break. Adam.
Me.
Wait, Wait
No,
a
we
second.
haven't.
One
What?
Wait a
second.
second.
Sorry.
Guys,
Okay.
wait a second. Sam, before you go to the toilet. Apparently they can still hear us on
He's
the
already gone.
screen.
Wait, what?
I've left her.
We can't fix it.
Well, I'm gonna get a drink.
I need food. Alright, Adam, have fun entertaining everyone. Bye.
Yep.
Apparently they can still hear us on the chat. But you left.
Right. Welcome back, everybody who is here. Maybe sorry about the thing with the audio during the break. I hope nobody said anything too disturbing or revealing. I don't know. I'd left by that point. I'm really sorry. Yeah. So we left off last time, as you can see in the chat. I posted a quick summary. The party had arrived in Grossheim. They had headed to the Edgar Heights Hotel and met with Frederick, who put them in contact with a tuxedoed man, who agreed to help Yaki and the party decrypt a notebook. Whilst he went and organised a meeting with the cryptographer, or whatever you want to call him. The party messed around with the magical items, found out what some of them do, investigated a portable hole and a glowing crystal. They then went and bought breathing apparatus to help them deal with the smog of the city, and then headed down to meet with the tuxedoed man. Upon approaching the alleyway, they Gabriel felt a strong breeze brush past him, which for the first time since visiting the city cleared the smog, allowing him to see towards the alley. There on the floor, sticking out of the alley, was a hand attached to an arm in a white-sleeved jacket. And that is where we left off. So, Gabriel, you've just spotted this hand on the floor. That is, as far as you can tell, attached to a body. What would you like to do?
I would like to investigate it to see why there is an arm laying on the floor.
Okay, so you run over and you looking around the corner of the alley, looking into the alleyway, you can see in the shade of the Edgar Heights Hotel, you can see. Let me just change the music to something a little bit more ominous. Here we go. You can see in the shadow of the Edgar Heights Hotel the crumpled and bruised form of the tuxedoed man. His arm laying out, his head rested on in his armpit, his back up against the wall, his arm on the floor, his hand open and sticking out of the alleyway. Make an investigation check.
Okay. Six.
Okay, with that, I'd say you don't spot much, but you do spot that there is no blood.
Okay. Are my friends with me at this point? You followed me, guys?
We've rushed it after. We've seen him run off and then seen the arm and have.
Yeah. The smog would have reformed quite quickly, but yeah, you would have felt a bit of a breeze, not the full force that Gabriel did, but you would have spotted the hand at this point if you'd run over.
Well, yeah.
Well, what happened here then?
Can I investigate as well? Trying to see.
Anybody who wants to have a look around, anybody wants to have a look around, make an investigation check. Where are my notes?
Whee! There's a better roll.
Oh wow! Okay.
Haha!
Investigate that.
Okay.
Haha! I also got a natural 20, it is -1.
Okay. Right. So let me just quickly. I should have read my notes during the break. I just need to very quickly check it over. Okay. So let's see. So there's no blood. There are some. You can see some broken crates. If anybody wants to make an investigation check on the body, you can see what exactly caused his death. But instantly looking around, let me see. Yaki and Shouter, looking up at the rooftops around the top of the building, you can see stood on the top of a roof opposite a shadowy figure wrapped in a cloak, hood up, and you can see just the glint of goggles and a breathing apparatus. He spots you easily. Well, they spot you. Figure seems to spot you, and you watch as as it turns and runs along this building, and then, well, she starts running along the roofs of the buildings. What do you do?
Chase after it.
Okay, you begin to chase after it.
I point him out to Gabriel, and I suggest he flies up and goes up to the rooftop so he can chase him.
That's a
on
good
the
idea.
rooftops.
Okay.
Can I try and cock him on the head and knock him up?
Okay, he's running. The figure is running away quite fast. So I need you to act quickly. So,
I'm gonna quickly fly up there.
okay.
I'm going to try and help.
Sprout wings and fly.
As you sprout your wings and begin, as your wings burst from your back, Gabriel, and you start to fly up into the air, you watch as the other figure also does something very similar. You watch as the cloak that was around it opens up, and instead of being a cloak, you realize they're actually huge bat-like wings. You watch as, with a couple of flaps, this now obviously male figure, dressed in dark clothing, takes off and starts gliding along the street.
Ah, vampires. No.
Can I see this?
Yes, you can see this. You can all see this now. You've pointed out.
Can I pull out my pistol and take a shot at one of his wings?
Sure, it'll be with a disadvantage because of how far away he is now.
Okay. With disadvantage.
Disadvantage. There should be a little pop-up that appears.
Yeah.
Okay, so you take the
Oh
lower one.
dear.
So you got an actual 20 and a 12. I actually need to get my book. Ugh.
A natural
love my-
20 and a 5.
And a 5. We have to take the lower one. Let me just find the page. Okay, your bullet, the bullet whizzes through the air and goes wide as he begins to vanish into the smog. He appears to be gliding just above it, but because of where you are, it goes away quite quickly. I would like everybody to please roll initiative.
Oh dear, he's not gone.
No, I want to know whether or not you can.
Oh.
I just want to know if you're able to do it. Sorry. Let's see. So, what's everybody got? So we've got Shelter on 4, Gabriel on 14, Frederick is on 15, and Yoki is on 8. Okay. Okay, so Frederick, I'd say you have about. He's at the rate at which this figure is flying away from you. You only have a couple of rounds to act before he's completely out of being able to catch up. You're able to catch up with him.
Well, I'm still just going to try and hit him with my sling and knock him out. That would make him free.
Okay, so make an attack with your sling, with disadvantage because of how far away he is.
Like,
No, you swing your sling back and throw a stone from your pouch, and it just flies through the air, just falling short. Okay. Would you like to move at all?
yeah, I'd like to run off.
Okay, so you run up the street as far as you can go. Gabriel, it is your go. So you're flying in the air at the moment. What's your flying speed? Is it 30?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. Even with your fly speed of 30, he's outpacing you massively. It will not be long before he is completely out of sight. What would you like to do whilst you can still try and get him?
I'm going to use a magic missile on him
Okay.
because that always hits. So, yeah, I'm gonna aim for his wing. And, yep.
Okay, so 3 magical bright blue beads of energy just form around the bald head of Gabriel. Could you please roll me a d20 as well, please? And flies through the air and strikes the form. He just kind of falters in the air but keeps flying. So he takes those 11 points of damage. Okay, you're fine. Magic, the wild energy almost surges, but then kind of you manage to pull it back under control with what force you have over it. Okay, so you continue moving, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Okay, Yaki, it is your go.
I'd like to take another shot with my pistol.
Okay. Definitely. Would you like to move up first? Because otherwise this is definitely a disadvantage. Still a disadvantage, but yeah.
Oh.
And again, it's starting to get very difficult to see him through, see this figure through the smog. It's just becoming a silhouette. Thank you very much for following Animex Chaos. Okay, so your bullet again goes wide. It glances off a chimney pot on top of one of the roofs. You hear a scream from somewhere as just these explosions start raining out. You're on a quiet street at the moment, but your fight is starting to spill over into other streets almost, you think. That's your go, Yaki. Shouter, it is your go.
I can't really do much. Like, he's very far away. And I've only got oh wait, no, I've got javelins.
Yeah, what's the range?
I'm going, good question. 30. How far away is he?
I'd say, but what's the maximum? Sorry, what's the maximum range again?
30.
30. He's out of range. I'm sorry.
Wait, if this is 30/120, what does that mean?
30/120. Oh, he's
You've
definitely
got
in range, but you've got 120, but you'd be rolling at disadvantage.
So I can throw a javelin at him.
Yep.
Neat.
You'll just have disadvantage.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly listen.
Not much of a disadvantage though.
God, you guys are rubbish at aiming.
Right.
Yeah.
Says the person with the attack that always hits.
Let me see, sorry. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen. What did you roll? Sorry, that misses. Your javelin, it just arcs. You're super strong. You throw it, and whereas the pebbles from Frederick's sling falls short, this javelin flies over the figure's head, and he just swerves out of the way to avoid it.
Dang it.
So, anything else for your turn?
Am I allowed to throw another one or not?
I don't think you have extra attack, do you?
No.
No. Okay, in that case.
No, I'm done then.
Oh, okay, moving on. Frederick, you begin to hear the sounds of bells and warning signals being sounded in neighbouring streets. What would you like to do? As the figure is vanishing off into the smog, you can see. You begin hearing sounds of warning signals and people shouting, and bells ringing in the neighbouring streets. What would you like to do?
Well, could I see what he was wearing? Yeah.
Sure. see, you would have seen he was just wearing. When he was on the rooftop, when he first opened his wings out, you would have noticed that he was wearing just very dark clothing. So, he was wearing. I was thinking, what was he wearing? He was wearing very dark shirt, and he was wearing a black waistcoat and black trousers and shoes. And you could probably see just a very thin arrow-tipped tail that was just kind of streaming behind him as he was running and flying.
Well, that's. I'm going to have my sleep and I can.
Pardon, sorry?
I could roll.
Roll a second d20 and we'll use the higher one, or lower one rather. So that's a 12. Sadly, that doesn't miss. Again, you're this time you overcompensate and miss aim, and your pebble flies through the smog and clatters onto a rooftop near him. Gabriel, he is way ahead of you. Your go. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm gonna try flying as close to him as I can.
He's a lot faster than you. If you were to dash, you'd maybe half the distance between you. So
Okay.
spend your action and your movement flying at full pelt.
Wait, sorry, what was that? I'd spend my
If you
action.
spend your action and your movement moving, then you would halve the distance between you. But you'd only have a bonus action left.
I might have to do that, even though I don't have anything to do in a bonus action.
It's also worth bearing in mind that your wings are only up for a minute. So that's 10 rounds, and I think this is the third round. So just bear that in mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll try and half the distance between us.
Okay, so you do that. Yaki, it is your go.
How far away is he now?
I think he's been travelling. He is a good maybe 190 feet away from you.
If I
Just make him
dash, how
That'll
much
take
do
you
I
60
gain
feet.
on him?
So you'd get 60 feet closer.
I'll do that then.
Okay.
Yeah, try and
You
catch
two,
up.
Okay. You two start hearing. You two are also hearing the warning sounds. You can start hearing the of what might be of the automata running through the streets. Okay.
Wait,
Shouters.
automata chase after them as well.
Pun?
What are the
What's that?
automata?
The automata are running towards the disturbance. You don't. That's all as far as you know.
Okay.
Okay. Shouters, your go.
I'm trying to think of where I can throw the javelin further. It's stuff like rage and stuff like that, but I don't think any of it's for that. No, they're all melee attacks.
Okay.
Dang. Okay, I can't really do anything.
Okay. Do you want to? You can hold your action to see if anything happens.
I'm gonna hold my action.
Yeah. So if you're holding your action, you need to say, "I hold my action until this happens." So until he attacks my friend, or until this happens. You also need to say what
I'm
you're going
gonna-
to do when that happens.
I'm gonna hold my attack until he, attacks one of us, and if he does, I will throw my javelin at him. Like if he flies down and tries to attack one of us, I'll throw my javelin at him.
That's your go. Frederick, it's your go.
Not sure what I can do. Right, you know what? I am going to. You know what? I'm going to use this one to attack. I'm going to cast a spell on him.
Okay, let's see. Let's say you've been keeping up with Yaki. If you ran... I see. He's a lot out of range.
Oh,
Okay. Sorry. I wasn't expecting you to
can I
spot him,
not?
so I
I
didn't make
don't
a
know
map.
how to get myself forward anymore. I don't know what to do then. I'll also hold my action. If he comes close enough, if he comes within range, I don't.
Okay.
If he comes within range of my sling, I'm going to throw it at him.
Okay. Okay, for the sake of brevity, I'm actually just going to say, Gabriel, Gabriel and this figure just slowly vanish off into the smog, and the rest of you just kind of get left behind. Gabriel, even as you're trying to keep pace with him and dashing constantly, he just slowly drifts ahead of you until finally he is lost into the smog. Eventually your wings start to fade and flutter, and you end up landing back on the street. In a crowd of people.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try and find my friends again, realizing that I cannot catch up with this bat-like creature.
Okay, so you head back to where they were, and I'd say that you you meet up with them. Do you head back to the crime scene? Back to the body? Staying where you are.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll check to see if he's got. I'll check to see if the person in the white. I'll investigate to see what happened to him.
Okay. So as you bend down, you find the sound of the automata and the people running are getting louder and louder. Make me a medicine check to see if you can see what happened.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not good at that.
He seems to. Okay, it's very strange. He looks bruised and battered, but they're inconsistent marks. It doesn't look like punch marks. It just looks like he was. It's almost as if he was thrown around a lot. Okay, it's then at this point that finally coming around all the different corners and alleyways down the street, you see these big cream-coloured automata running on their these blade-like legs and swinging their blade-like arms. Their giant green crystalline eyes, staring down at you. They form a ring. They run up to you. They slide to a halt. Sparks flying up from the contact between the blades and the stone of the streets. They kind of form a semicircle around your entranceway, and you look down the back of the alleyway, and you can see another couple of them at the far end of the back alley. Following behind them, as they stand there, you hear a couple of them say, "Citizens, remain calm. You have discovered a body. Please remain calm. Please remain calm and do not attempt to run. Please remain calm." Just as they're saying that, you can see light from the street lamps glinting off their blade-like arms and legs. A couple of seconds pass, and some humanoid human ministry members in their bottle green outfits run up behind them, and pushing to the front of all the humans and the half-elves that are there comes a smaller figure, also dressed in a well-tailored ministerial uniform. You see a halfling dressed in green, wearing a fedora. You see a male halfling with brown curly hair that sticks out from underneath his fedora. He looks down at you with warm brown eyes, and just kind of smiles grimly at you. He looks slightly overweight. but you think he's quite athletic since he was able to keep up with the other human people following him. He was following. He looks down and says, "Well, well, what's all this then? This is not good." He takes his hat off, and you see he's got a large bald spot in the middle of his head, and he just takes a handkerchief out and rubs it and puts his hat back on. "Well, I am Detective Good Cop, and in the name of the Ministry, you are under arrest for the murder of this man."
We didn't kill him.
"Well, you're the only people here." "Well, fine. We'd be very grateful if you would come with us to the.
Did you not see me checking his pulse, seeing if he's still alive?
He looks down and goes, Yes. Well, you might just be, a very thorough murderer, mightn't you? You might be checking to see if he's one of the other Ministry people just notice somebody else, and he says, "Shut it! I know what I'm saying." "Right. Well, still, well, if you would come with me to the barracks then, and we can do this interrogation properly."
Call that an interrogation?
Doesn't have to be an interrogation.
"Well, I'd like to question you about this body."
There was like a really tall flying dude who literally just flew off like a few minutes ago, just before you came here. We were trying to stop him.
I tried to chase.
You mean it was you? That was you who was doing the magic and the weapons and everything?
Well, not me specifically. That's not it.
Well, that's another matter entirely. That's another matter entirely. I'll come back to that later. First, we've got to deal with this murder. Well, I just want to ask you a couple of questions just about this man. Fine, we'll do it. We can either do it here, and you look past the automata and the Ministry of Guards. You can see a crowd is starting to gather, or we can go back to the nice and quiet precinct or the building, the barracks, and we can discuss it there. Looks down at you with these warm brown eyes.
Well,
Which would you rather?
Should we go down to the barracks?
Sure.
Seems like the
Yeah, I think
better
that'd be better.
plan. But first we have to make sure this guy's okay.
Yeah, are you not gonna call the ambulance or anything for this guy?
Detective Good Cop walks up to him and walks up to you, Shelter, and puts an arm on your thigh because that's as far up as he can reach, and says, "I think there is nothing more we can do for him."
That was very creepy.
He kind of looks up at you very sincerely, just kind of like, "I don't think there's anything more we can do for him."
I take his hand off my leg.
He kind of goes, yes, sorry.
Surprised at how calm Frederick's being at the moment.
No, I'm just in shock. I'm just sort of sitting there like, what do you do? What?
Yaki hasn't said anything.
I'm sorry?
Yaki hasn't said anything.
I'm observing silently.
Okay.
Suspicious.
Well, if you would follow me, leave the crime scene to be investigated. He begins walking away. Do you follow him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose so.
You get up and follow him. As you walk through the sort of circle of... as you follow him, some of the automata and some of the ministerial guards also detach from the sort of semicircle and begin to follow you as well, kind of keeping you as keeping guard. They lead you through back to a sort of a very tall, very well kept building with a nice courtyard. that and takes you in. You can see desks and things. It's very strange because as you walk along, you take a proper look at the ministerial guard who are following you, and they're wearing these very nice, very modern-looking suits and things with these very nice long coats and fedoras and everything. But they still have at one side a short sword strapped to their waist, and at the other side a crossbow. It's strange. And they're all wearing these very nice leather waistcoats as well. You continue going, and you end up at the precinct, at the barracks. Where you take inside, you can see desks. You're sat down at a table in one of the back rooms, and Detective Dan Goodcop jumps up onto a chair. He doesn't sit down on the chair. He jumps up onto it, and stands on it, and leans on the table, and says, and he takes his fedora off the table, wipes his bald spot again, and smiles at you in a friendly but apologetic way, and says, "I'm so sorry. You look like very nice people. I don't think that you murdered them." He then just looks at you all and reconsiders what he's saying. Yes. Just eyes up your battle axe shouter. Yes. Maybe not. Maybe I'll take that one back. But I will say this. I'm a nice guy. I believe in innocent until proven guilty. So, do you know this man? What led you to discover him in the alleyway?
Just saw a hand.
You just saw a hand.
Yep, right like that.
He does. He whips out a little notepad and starts scribbling with pencil. It's just like, you just saw a hand. Oh yeah, by the way, can I take all your names, just for the records and everything?
My name is Shouter, spelt Shautha.
Okay, nicely done. Okay, and how about the rest of you?
My name is Michael.
Okay, you got a last name, Michael?
No, I just stick to that one name.
Okay, very trendy indeed. You wrote that down in the book. Trendy Michael. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to write these down. How about you? You look familiar. He looks at you, Frederick. Says, "You look familiar. I know you from somewhere. You work at the hotel,
Yes.
don't you? You work
Yes,
there."
I do. My name is Frederick. Yes, I live around here. I work up at the hotel.
Okay.
I'm an active part of the community.
Nice to hear. But for now, in that case, you can help us better our. Oh, pardon me. You can help us better our community by finding out by telling us everything you know about this gentleman who was found murdered by you. Yes. So, and how about you, my fine dragonborn friend? What's your name?
Yaki Iosixon.
Okay, I will spell that. He spells it Yaki Icken. Just completely butchers just spelling. Yeah. Okay, so we have Shouter, Trendy Michael here, Frederick the bartender, and Yaki Eos Ikson. Yes. So there has to be more to it than just you saw a hand. Is there anything else you can tell me?
We were just walking along, and then suddenly we saw this hand in the alleyway. We went, "Oh no, what happened?" And we saw that dude I was telling you about before with the wings, and we tried to fight him to try and get him to stop running away, but he got out of our reach, and we couldn't stop him.
Okay, so there's this person, this mysterious person you keep talking about here, this who flew along the street. Did I just hear you say?
Yep.
With
No,
bat-like
I didn't
wings.
see. He wasn't there when I got there.
I said he flew
Bat-like
away.
wings. Bit-like wings.
To be fair, I managed to fly half the way after him
You
and
flew.
come back.
You flew?
Yes, I flew. Yes.
Of course you flew. I don't see any wings on you.
No, I sprout them every so often
You sprout wings.
when I want to fly.
Trendy Michael can fly. It's amazing. Okay.
Where I come from, cops are meant to be clever.
Are you? He looks really affronted. Just like I find that very insulting. I am very clever. I came here especially because I am clever.
I whack Gabriel on the arm.
You are.
I was part of the army on the celestial plane as a protector of the Asimir race.
So, so you're Asimir. Okay. Celestial plane. You see him right. Trendy Michael is insane. Okay, so you chase this figure. Can you describe this figure to me? He gives you a skeptical smile.
A
Cad.
vampire.
A vampire. Could you confirm that this was a vampire? That the whole fangs and the horribleness.
I mean, the bat-like wings were kind of a giveaway.
Bits like wings. Okay.
There's the Batwing.
He was very nicely dressed.
A common feature of vampires.
Quiet, Frederick.
Sorry, I can appreciate his own sense of clothing.
He was very nicely
He
dressed.
was very nicely dressed. Okay, that is of course a key feature of any vampire. You never heard of a vampire dressed in rags, did you?
Being more helpful than you are insulting him.
I'm sorry, Frederick. I get very annoyed when idiots arrest me.
He just kind of brushes over that.
I hit Gabriel
He
again.
works for our city, you know. He helps us.
Okay, is there?
Well, Frederick, you're
Is
the
he
only one that
helping you
lives here.
currently?
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you one last time. Did you know this man, the man who's died before?
We're the killer.
Yeah, well, number one, are you the killers? Did you kill him?
No.
I believe
No.
you. I believe you. I believe you. Okay, I trust that you didn't do it. You were looking at his body and ensuring that he was safe when we arrived. So,
I'm not sure if they're still there.
Well, yes, we will be able to confirm your story and everything. But then, next question, I want to ask you a second time. Did you know this gentleman before discovering the body? He looks at all of you, just smiling. It's an unreadable smile. He seems to smile a lot, and he has a lot of different smiles, but he's smiling at you in an unreadable way. Did you know this man before today? Or before discovering his body? You gonna stay quiet?
Oh, Nathaniel's disconnected.
Oh, it's not good. Oh no.
He's in the Whispers channel. Oh, no, he's not.
Okay, that will have been a mistake.
Oh, there we go.
So, this is the question for all of you. Did you know this man before you discovered his body? Did you know him when he was alive? In any way?
Wait, have I seen him before?
He was your friend.
This is the man in the white tuxedo. You found him dead in the...
Oh,
Dead man. Did you know him before...
I'm surrounded by idiots.
I'm sorry, okay?
I think I might have seen him in the bar of the hotel earlier this afternoon,
Okay,
but
I'd like you to make a deception check, please.
I mean, I had a light conversation with him. He seemed like a nice guy.
Everybody who says anything, make a deception check. And everybody who says anything not true or vaguely not quite true,
I did see him in the bar.
you did.
I just
But I just
saw him a bit more. Oh, my charisma's really bad. I've just remembered. I shouldn't have opened my mouth. Oh no, we're all good.
Oh dear.
Yes, I've seen it. It's actually a fond acquaintance.
Okay. He looks at you, Yaki, and he's just like, of course, you only saw him once.
He actually gave me this this flower here so that he could recognise me, because I don't know how anyone could not recognise me as in this
True, you are
as I'm dressed.
very, very bald.
I'm gonna cast the spell Prestidigation to give myself some hair,
Would
some
it not be
illusionary
grown back
hair.
at that point?
You do that?
Yes, illusionary hair.
Okay, so what does your hair look like? Describe your luscious locks.
Well, they're like a golden brown color.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now you have hair, but before you didn't. So, nice magic trick. Nice hair, but you're still.
Now, do you believe that I can fly when I want to? Well, once a day when I want to.
Yes, I kind of do. I now know that you're ASMR. But I do also want to ask: do you have a permit to be using that magic? He looks at you. He just smiles knowingly.
I have a permit from the celestial plane.
But do you have a permit from the city of Grossheim?
Yes.
Make a deception check. 'Cause you-
But who needs a
Oh
permit?
boy, this is your first time in the city, isn't it? This is really.
Who needs a
okay.
permit from this city when I've got a permit from the celestial plane?
The Ministry doesn't like people using magic without us knowing. So everybody who is magically inclined must have a permit. Frederick, you would know this. You would have a permit already. So, yes, yes, you don't have a permit, do you? Well, I can get one sorted for you. I'll pass this off as a warning.
How nice of him. Interrogating us for murder and lets one of us offer the warning of magic.
Yes, completely unrelated, but yes. Only a warning for that one, because you are in a very stressful situation and you were trying to catch a vampire, apparently. So then. That is all I can think to ask you any questions. Where can I find you if I need to ask you any more questions?
Oh, we'll be at my hotel.
At your hotel is... Well, the
hotel that I work at.
okay, so the Edgar Heights Hotel. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Plus, I would like to speak to your superior, whoever it is, because I'm sure it's against protocol to leave a dead body.
We didn't leave it. We left it with the automaton, all those ministerial guards. They'll be sorting it out and making sure that everything is fine.
You came to interrogate us without properly seeing the damage done. You didn't even check his pulse.
We do things here slightly differently. We do things slightly differently here in Grossheim. I will admit it's a little bit disconcerting the first time, but some would say it is for the brevity of a story that I am not a part of. So, you may talk to my superior, and I will go and get him. But my first suggestion that I will do now is to say that you should think about contacting a lawyer. You may need him, you may not, but I recommend him.
Wait, so think about what?
Finding yourself a lawyer. I know someone who I can recommend to you. He is very good. He is very cheap, but very good and very thorough. He always defends his clients. I can give you his contact details if you like before I go and get my superior.
Well,
That would be very helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
His name.
we shouldn't need a lawyer.
It's always best in the city to get a lawyer. I don't come from this place, and it's most definitely this city is not the most stable. It's always best to have a lawyer. Let's just say that. You shouldn't need one, but you might, just in case. So yes, the name of this lawyer is Benjamin Six. You may not be able to hear that properly because of my accent. I will type that in the. I'll write it down for you so you can know how to spell his name. Benjamin Six, spelled S-A-C-H-S, Six. And I also write some directions to his office. Welcome to Grossheim, I suppose. I'll go and get my superior now. He hops down from his chair and slides his fedora off the table onto his head and exits the room. For a couple of minutes, you are on your own. Is there anything you would like to do whilst you're on your own?
Get Gabriel.
Did he have a desk?
You're in a small room with a table. He was stood up on a chair, leaning on.
Did it have a pot of pens or something?
You probably see a there'd be a pencil and then a quill and a bottle of ink. And there's small. Looking into the table, you can probably see a small drawer, which is where you could, if you looked in, you probably find some paper or something.
I'm going to mess up all of the pens and stuff, make it look all messy.
Why?
Okay. Anything else you would like to do?
I would like to laugh immediately.
I'm gonna hit Gabriel on the arm again.
As you hit him on the arm, the door opens and a rather large human with a big grey walrus moustache, with a big grey walrus moustache and a slight 5 o'clock shadow on his cheeks, with a bowl cut, greying hair, and a big nose, walks in. He says, I heard that you wanted to speak with me.
Yes, I would like to file a complaint about us being arrested. After...
There was no arrest report filed. Are you sure you were not just brought in for questioning?
Well,
Yes.
we were told we were arrested.
It was just precautionary. I'll see to it that you're no longer thing. Who would you like to report? There is protocol in this city.
I didn't take a name.
Good job.
His name is Dan Good. His name is Detective Goodcop.
Oh, that's it. Detective Goodcop.
Detective Goodcop. Are you sure? He's our best investigator.
Well, he may be a good investigator, but he obviously doesn't know that you shouldn't arrest someone who is offering medical help to a dying person.
Ah, yes, you're here for the body, aren't you? Well, we can now confirm. I have received the report. I can confirm that he is dead.
Ah. Well, he might not have died, but still there.
Actually, I want you to let's see. Who here is magically inclined? We've got
Me.
Gabriel and Frederick. I want both of you to make let me see, Arcana checks.
Why do I have no advantage?
Yeah, something weird about the fact that nobody's come to try and resurrect the dead guy. So, is this all? I will go and speak to Detective Goodcop now and sort this out if you want.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he's already recommended to get a lawyer. We do things a specific way here. Who is he recommended to?
Benjamin Sachs.
Ah, excellent decision. He's one of the best. so I would recommend going to see him straight away. And I will go and talk with with Detective Goodcop. You're free to go whenever you like. I'm
What do
sorry for any inconvenience. Pardon, sorry?
Can I see if I think this man is suspicious?
Roll an insight check. He seems honest. He's just a very large man in very with slightly stretched ministerial outfit. Just doing his job. He doesn't seem to be lying or being suspicious in any way.
Fair enough.
Just he bows slightly and nods at each of you, and then turns and closes the door. And it is there that I think we shall leave today's session, because it is 6:15, nearly 20 past 6, and people have, I'm assuming, want dinner. So, thank you very much, everybody for watching, and thank you very much, all of you, for playing along. I'm excited to see where this is going. Well, I know where it's going, but I'm excited to see how you cope with what's going to happen. So, with the memory of this vampire in your heads, that's where we're going to end the session. Thank you very much for everybody for watching. Please consider following. You can find this episode, if you missed parts of it, up here on Twitch, but also on my YouTube channel, Snail Creature. Follow on Twitter, again, at Snail Creature, for updates. I'll try and update more often over the next week. If you enjoyed it a lot, or just want to help us out, we are trying to raise money for Macmillan Cancer Support. So there's a link down below for that. Click on the link and you can donate as much or as little money as you desire. And I think we're currently on £425 without gift aid being added on. So that is amazing. So yes, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for taking part, and farewell. I'm gonna just, run these opening titles again, because why not?